GMGers and GMGettes, are you ready?
Countdown, 60 seconds to get ready for the Good Morning Gang morning show. It's time to get ready. Get your coffee, tea, trees, or whatever need be. Then put on your seatbelt. We're going on a journey. We'll discuss trending topics, music and breaking news to help get your morning right. Big Phil speaks, giving you his one-of-a-kind point of view. It's the GMG, and we're family. So as we count down to the start of the show, prepare for the unexpectedly. If you know, you know. Tell 1 to 7 of your friends to come in. Share your love for the show. We're about to begin. The GMG countdown.
Yeah, it's time to wake yourself up. It's the Good Morning Gang morning show. You feel me?
Good morning to you.
Hey, looky, what do we have here? I don't know, probably the best morning show ever hit the atmosphere. Let's be clear, there's plenty others that do it B.I.G., but keep it at a buck though, none to get you up though like G&G. With all the news and real point of views you can use, light and heavy topics we peruse, even a laugh or two. What you talking? Good morning, gang, be the instrument and take your friends and them can and all come on in, tune in. You ain't gonna want them in state, and even the trolls and haters that hate us, we end up being their favorite. Cause from 8 to 10, we get it in, believe that. I mean, from where else could you go when you a part of the show? Definitely GMG, cause when you show love, we show love back. First thing in the morning, we get you through, so after the yawning, wash up and wipe your face, get your snacks and come on in, get comfy, but most importantly, in all caps, Doo-be-doo-be-doo-doo-doo-doo. Listen to me. Good morning to ye. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's your boy, Big Phil Speaks. And this is the Good Morning Gang morning show brought to you by myself, and that good GMG, Good Money Gang. Listen, how are you feeling? How are you feeling? How are you feeling? Yeah, baby. It's Monday, the 15th of June, 2026, halfway in the month. Yeah, this year is flying by, ain't it? Time keeps on slipping into the future. Yes, indeed. Listen, before I go any further, Let me give it up for the warning. I got to warn. I got to warn the critics. I got to warn YouTube. I got to warn everybody that everything that's being used going forward is being used through the Fair Use Act. But have at it. Warning, warning, warning.
Warning, warning, warning. Federal law, Title 17 U.S.C. Section 107 allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted material under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. Fair use allows for the quoting of copyrighted material in the creation of a new work for purposes included but not limited to criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, or research. Fair use preserves the free flow of culture, baby. That part.
That Pizzard, what's good? What's up with y'all? I'm feeling refreshed, fresh to death. It's Monday morning, but it seems like I never left where I last seen y'all at, huh? You feel me? Who we got in the building? It's time for the roll call. Listen, first up, first in the door, Polo Dolo riding solo from that Kansas City way, huh? Trick baby, crack baby, trick baby. Good morning to ye. Young Dre, salute, GMG. Peep scheme, Wagwan brethren. Zolan, good morning to ye. Talking about feel the storm is the Knicks. Yeah, congratulations to the Knicks. You tried it. Who else we got in the building? Sexy Sugar Mama. She's in the building. Good morning to ye, huh? Who else? Cedric McCollum. What's goody like the mob? GMG for sure. You hear me? Tiffany Tanaco. I see you. Good morning to ye. Good morning, huh? Who else we got in the building? My uptown homegirl, Nelly Nell, Uptown J from around the way. She's in here. Yes, indeed, huh? Who else I got in this building? Charlie Hustle. What's goody like the mob, huh? Yeah. We in the building this morning. We about to have at it. We about to have at it. To those I see that tapped in on the good IG Tasty Stay Silent. Cotton Candy. I don't even know why you over there, Cotton Candy. Come on over to the good YouTube. Patsy Irish. Aliwe Gun. Sheila Kaufman, Candace Webb, what's goody like the mob? Brown Fox, see y'all. Y'all come on over to the good YouTube, why don't you, huh? We about to have at it. We about to have at it. Listen, I don't know where I want to start or where I want to begin, but there's a lot to talk about, some things that we've been talking about here lately a lot, but I believe it's necessary. Carmelo Anthony case. I'll get to that a little bit later as to why it should be continued to be spoken about and things broken down or whatever the case may be. But there's so much going on in the world today. Rashad Houston, home team. What's goody like the mob, huh? Lime, my bad. I'm slipping. Lime, whoop was goody. The biggest whoop, that part. Yeah. We about to have at it. Do me a favor, ladies and gentlemen. As you come in the door waving the 4-4, do your boy a favor. Hit that thumbs up for your boy. Boop, up. While you at it, for those that are tapping in or watching from the cut or whatever the case may be and have never been around these here parts before, or if you've been sitting chilling and have not subscribed to the channel, do your boy a favor and do yourself a great service by subscribing to the channel. More importantly, hit that notification bell, something like this. Bing! So you be in the know whenever the Good Morning Gang morning show drops. What? Whenever Feel the Love Friday drops. What? Whenever the Tap In with Big Phil Speaks drops. What? Or anything else that I put on this Big Phil Speaks channel, you be amongst the first to know, huh? Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen. We are in here, huh? Where do I want to begin, huh? What's wrong with you ladies? I'm going to start here. I'm going to shake the room up, huh? What's wrong with you ladies? And y'all know I'm not a man versus woman, woman versus man content type of individual. That ain't me, because I want us to be here. Pause, no diddy. But in this situation, what's wrong with you ladies playing with fellas' butt cheeks? Huh? What's wrong with y'all playing with people's butt cheeks? And I'm talking about whether it be in extracurricular activities, in pranks, or on Get Back. What the figgity is wrong with y'all and playing with a man's butted cheeks? You know what I'm saying? Word to muddish mouth. You feel me? I'm just like, I don't know what the hell is going on and what individuals was thinking. Let me make sure I can pull this up because this is atrocious. This is, hold up. This is atrocious. Yeah, here we go. Do, 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 do. Yeah, why though? Why, ladies, are y'all playing with people's butt cheeks? I'm gonna read this and I'm gonna put this lady's picture up here so y'all know, get context as to what I'm talking about. Cause I know y'all like, Phil, you bugging on a Monday morning. Why you talking like this, huh? What you talking? Well, watch. Arrested wife gorilla glue sleeping husband's butt cheeks together after catching him cheating. Pause. No diddy. Listen, I got more to the story. It says wife gorilla glue sleeping husband's butt cheeks together after catching him cheating. In Houston, Texas, Sheila Osman, 43 years of age, allegedly has been taken into custody after authorities say she glued her husband's butt cheeks together. Oh, let that stand right there. Glued his butt cheeks together. Sheila had been watching Larry, which is the husband's name, move suspiciously for weeks. Late night text, random errands, and his phone always flipped face down. I turn my phone upside down a lot of times, even when I'm home alone. So that ain't about nothing. But she didn't say much, but she knew something wasn't right. Then she finally found the messages and realized Larry had been cheating. That night, Sheila didn't scream. She didn't pack his bags. She waited until he fell asleep. Fell asleep around 2 a.m. while Larry was knocked out. Sheila went into the garage, grabbed the Gorilla Glue, and decided to teach him a lesson he would never forget. By morning, Larry woke up in a panic when he realized his butt cheeks had been glued shut. Damn it, Jim. He started yelling, stumbling around the room, asking what happened. Sheila just sat on the edge of the bed, quietly smiling and enjoying her handiwork. Next thing you know, the ambulance was outside. Neighbors were peeking through the blinds, and Larry was being helped out wrapped in a blanket, looking embarrassed beyond words. Now everybody is arguing. Some say Sheila went way too far. Others say Larry embarrassed her first. What do you all think? Did Sheila cross the line, or did Larry earn that wake-up call? Huh? God damn it. Hey, Jenny, what's goody like the mob? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Glad to have you in the room. Welcome to the Good Morning Gang Morning Show, and welcome to GMG. Now that you're here, Jenny, you are a part of the family. Do me the honor of subscribing to the channel if you haven't. Yeah. What's wrong with y'all ladies playing with a man butt cheeks? Now, I got a greater question. How the hell he slept through her trifling and fondling and all the things to get the damn the super glue, the gorilla glue all up in the cheekies. How, Sway? How did she how did he sleep through that? I listen, I sleep hard sometimes, I snore here and there, I do. But ain't no way, ain't nobody trifling or messing with my posterior, my gluteus, you know what I'm saying, whatever you want to call it. And I'm not waking up like, hold up, ready to swing on somebody. Like, what the hell is going on up in here, huh? Hey, I don't know how Larry just, fell in that deep of a sleep unless she put something in his little drinky drink that had him knocked. I don't know. And gave him a laxative too. That's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking, Young Dreads. That's what I was thinking, Young Dreads. I was like, okay, just imagine you wake up, you got to go take that early morning, you know what I'm saying? And relieving of yourself and your stomach get to bubbling, or you just got to go and sit it down on the toilet. Now imagine that he tried to, I got to go, and he go sit it down on the toilet. All of a sudden, what's coming out is trying to push back up, like pause, no diddy. Like it ain't going nowhere. Either that or the force of the, you know what I'm saying, the number two is ripping the glue to get up out this situation. Like, God, no matter how you look at it, it's a horrible situation. Do you understand what I'm saying? At least she didn't Gorilla Glue his tool. She was being nice. Lord, ow, ow. Sexy sugar mama, why you mention that? I couldn't imagine if she would have, yeah. Don't play with the Gila monster. Please don't play with my Gila monster. Don't glue my Gila monster to my ball walls. Don't do it. Listen, don't do it. Reconsider. Read some literature. Rashad Houston said he is in a sticky situation. Pause. I appreciate that, Jenny. Thank you. Music for God, too. Good morning, darling. I see you in the building, huh? Listen. Oh, no, Zola, I know you did. She said, go, Sheila. Go, Sheila. You better go, girl. She could have done so many other things, but good for Larry. Listen, right, but why the cheeks, though? Why the cheeks? Music for God too said, why the cheeks? Was he gay? I don't know, but he had to be real comfortable, let his wife just sit there and just fondle all up in the crevices and creases, of the backyard again. Did he do anything to her? Allegedly, Jenny, he cheated on her. Allegedly, he cheated on her. That's what caused the look, they Nelly Nell said, ew, pew. Oh man, listen. They say what they say ain't nothing like a woman scorned or whatever the case may be. We listen. Lord, not the glue. Well, it might up out. What might come about his mouth? No, Jenny, no. I'm just saying. Remember when Dashiki dripped that wax on ashtray? She caught him sleeping on his. Damn it, Jim. Connie Baptiste, good morning to ye. I see you in the building. If that's her picture at the precinct, she is smirking her butt off. Yeah, oh yeah. If that's really her picture, she definitely looking like, yeah, I did it and what? I'll do it again. Charlie Hustle, diabolical. You feel me? Listen, makes you wonder who she caught him cheating with, male or female. That's why she glued his butt. I never thought about that. You right, though. You right about that, sexy sugar mama. That might have been why she chose the bobby cheeks. But I'm just saying, you just imagine you just laying there. And how is he laying? Is he on his side? Is he on his stomach? Face down, hand up? I don't know. But for her to be able to pull them draws down, most fellas laying with their woman and they feel like their drawers is being pushed. They're gonna roll to a certain position to make it easy for their lady to get to the, I'm talking about. Not that though, not the cheekies. And Gorilla Glue, what she do? Take it and just go and just grab the cheeks and then push them together to hold them. Because with crazy glue, sometimes you got to hold it, still till the adhesive just go. So what she do? She just pause, fellas, no diddy. And then she just grabbed the cheeks and just held them there and just rolled over on the bed like, got him. Damn it, Jim. Y'all know me. Frank Murphy, my uptown homeboy, DC Mumbo Sauce is in the building. You hear me? Hey, I'm a very visual person, and pause, no Diddy. I'm not trying to visualize a man's cakes or nothing, but I'm visualizing her putting the damn Gorilla Glue where it didn't belong, and him waking up and frantically, because he might, and all jokes aside, like, you know, I was talking about maybe he had to take a number two and then all that, but when you get up to move out your bed, I'm pretty sure he felt a little, like a little grabbing or gripping or tearing or something. Pause, no Diddy. And depending on how far she put it all up in there, pause, it might have got up to into the little, you know what I'm talking about? It might have. Damn it, Jim. Started at the top and slid and let it slide down. Damn it, Jim. Fellas, I bet he won't do it again. I was just about to say, Jenny, fellas, in 2026, is cheating worth it? Is cheating really worth it? I'm just saying. Y'all do me a favor, share this live, share this lituation. We about to go up. It's the Good Morning Gang Morning Show. But fellas, is cheating really worth it, huh? Is it really worth it? Get you one of these ladies that don't mind a little share, a little menage or a little poly or whatever. But you fellas that claiming you in a monogamous relationship, stay there. Stay there. Anything that you could do with 2, 3, 4 other women or whatever, or one other woman, you could do it all with your woman. You could do it all with your wife. Why not, huh? You better, it's cheaper to keep her, especially when she's a butt cheek gluer and creeper. You feel me? Listen, it was too late for him to react. Too late, baby, bye-bye. Peep Scheme, what you would have did, Peep Scheme? You'd woke up, your cheeks would have been stuck together. You're like, I'm just saying, I'm going to keep it pushing. But I had to speak on it. Man, I'm just waiting on the next segment, Champions of the World. Inspector Elite, what's goody like the mob, huh? What's goody like the mob? Yes, indeed. Look. I'm just waiting on the sports segment. Listen, he woke up trying to take that morning shiznai was glued shut. No cheating in these days is not what, man, you hear me, in no way, shape, or form. Since he was sleeping, he might have thought it was his side person touching on him, so he didn't mind that. Man, nah. Sleep or wake. You trifling with the butt cheeks, pause. You trifling with the backyard. I'm on guard. I'm like, get thee away from me, Satan. Get thee away from me, because we ain't going. Huh? Not going to be able to do it. Got a piece of hair, something in my eyes. Get me. But anywho, ladies and gentlemen, listen, fellas, you better get it right. Ratchet TV, I see you over here on the IG. Come on over here on the YouTube. I'm doing the morning show. Salute. Peep Scheme, he said you better glue her poom poom next. No. Ladies and fellas, y'all got to stop taking these skits. Y'all got to stop taking the content. Y'all got to stop taking your revenge out on your loved ones and with such diabolicalness. You got to stop doing that. CLBCNY, what's goody like the mob, huh? Man, listen. She probably got the ideal, because there is a couple that I've seen on IG. I've seen a couple other creators do it, but it's this couple, and they be getting at each other, and they be pinning their ears down and gluing their ears down, gluing the lip to the top lip to the nose, and all kinds of craziness. Now, Ratchet Gang, salute. What's up, Ratchet TV in the building? I salute you. I'm going to be talking about that case a little bit later on, but welcome to the Good Morning Gang Morning Show. Salute from my town to your town. But yeah, these content creators are going too far. Now, in the case of that couple, they use, I think, is acetone to relieve or to make the glue release itself or whatever. But the videos be funny as a mug because they catch each other slipping and sleeping, and they I think this lady got the idea from that couple or somebody. She didn't have to open it up. The squirt nozzle allowed that to happen without him even feeling it. She was calculated with the gibber. Nah. She had to get to his cheeks. She had to get inside the draw raws. She had to get there. And what I'm saying is, if somebody's trifling with my, I'm talking about, I'm not going. I don't care how deep of a sleep. A man's intuition with his woman, and she's messing with his boxers, his boxer briefs, his draws, whatever the case may be, he gonna make sure if he on his side, if he on his stomach, he gonna roll over on his back so she can have at it. You hear me, fellas? Am I lying? You gonna roll over? You gonna be like, okay. Yeah. You might not wake all the way up at first until she, and then you be like, yeah, it's morning. Yeah. You said white folks sleep naked. Damn it. But yeah, y'all got to stop doing that. Stop following these damn content creators. Cause y'all gonna find yourself in some felonious matters, huh? Or somebody gonna haul off and oops upside your head, male or female. I'm just saying. This next story that I'm gonna get into speaks to content creators and are they going too far with these skits? I'm gonna play this video. I'm gonna let y'all listen to it. I'm gonna see if y'all pick up on what if you pay attention, you could clearly pick up on what's going on here. But have at it, huh? Are content creators going too far? You feel me?
So I am devastated. So I met this dude online and I flew out here to Miami. He is not picking up. The phone is going straight to voicemail. I've been calling him since I got to this airport. This is fucking unbelievable. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know where I'm going. I didn't get no rental. I didn't get no hotel. Like, he booked all of that stuff. So now I'm just sitting here. And his phone is going straight to voicemail. All this stuff, like, I'm so irritated. Like, I know I did not just get played.
Now, did y'all peep the situation, right? Now, I don't know how many fellas gonna fly somebody out or have them fly out and not pick them up, or, you know what I'm saying, whatever the case may be. But clearly, in this situation, if you pay attention, she claims she in Miami, right? But that wasn't no damn Miami airport. If you ever been to this airport that she's standing in front of, you know where she at. She in the ATL. You know what I'm talking about? It said Hartfield, whatever the name of that damn airport is. I can't think of it off the top because I got a brain freeze. But come on, Slim. Come on, Slim Matt. She's clearly moving and going too far. She's clearly going too far with the content. Huh? And ladies, yeah, girl, F him, girl, he ain't no good, girl. Get you another one. They gonna fly you out. All the things. And I get it. Maybe there is a real situation or time where something like this may happen. However, to fraudulently do your content in front of the damn sign of the airport at that, because she scanned it once or twice in the damn video if y'all paid attention. You feel me? If you're going to do the content at the airport, make sure you don't get the damn sign in the thing. Make sure you at a part of the airport, outside or inside, where it doesn't clearly have the damn airport name on the damn building or in a signage that can clearly be seen in your footage. True, she's just doing that for content. Now she is a hell of a content creator. I forget her name off top. I'll get it and post it in the thing or whatever, but she's a dope content creator. But come on, Mimi. Come on, Mimi. That's her name, Mimi. I can't remember her page. But come on, Mimi. What you doing? You making all this money doing content creation, aren't you? Take you a flight to Miami, enjoy yourself, and do content at the airport there. Or if you're gonna do it at the ATL, the Hartford Airport in ATL, don't put no signage in the situation. She probably had her car pulled up to one of the pickup areas and everything, and pulled bags out real quick, got her camera out, got the filming, and got right back in her car, went right back to wherever she lived at. You said play it again? I'm gonna play it again. One more again for the one more again.
So I am devastated. So I met this dude online, and I flew out here to Miami. He is not picking up. The phone is going straight to voicemail. I've been calling him since I got to this airport. This is unbelievable. This is fucking unbelievable. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know where I'm going. I didn't get no rental. I didn't get no hotel. Like, he booked all of that stuff. So now I'm just sitting here, and his phone is going straight to voicemail. All this stuff, like, I'm so irritated. Like, I know I did not just get played.
Listen, again, great content creator, bad choice. And it lends to a narrative, right? You know, there are some people that ain't, wrap too tight, men and women, right? But to kind of put it out there and play up on the men versus women thing, and uh what you saying a man done did to you, um, could trigger something in certain ladies who might be going through issues with their man or went through an issue with somebody. You got to be careful when you put on such content as such. Bab Wilson, what's goody like the mob? Des and D, super, what's up? I see you in the building. Yeah, you see the sign, right? More importantly, the content that she did in this one, you have to be careful. You have to be careful because you just never know who's watching, who's listening, who's triggered by this, and who acts out on this, male or female. And we got to kill the narratives. We got to kill the narratives. Okay, in the last one, the lady glued the man butt cheeks. He's out here cheating. She probably picked up the idea from a content creator with using the glue from the Giddy Up. Now you got a content creator who acting like they at the Miami airport and they at the ATL junk putting on, acting like she done got frauded or flew out and stranded. Whatever the case may be, that ain't right. Y'all making it bad for us good fellas, huh? Trying to just have a good woman. You hear me? Can we all just get along? I'm gonna keep pushing on with the push on, right? Shout out to um, shout out to Big Tigger. I previously reported on the fact that his wife or girlfriend, baby mother, whoever she is to him, legally, that there was a video that she put out with some abuse or what looks to be abuse, a gash right here, black eye, and she's crying, and she makes a statement, and I'm paraphrasing, asked my husband how my face got like this, right? Now she comes back and she says that, never did she say that he put his hands on her or none of those things or whatever the case may be. But she left the implications out there. She left it out there for people to um assume, speculate, all these internet sleuths and people come to the table and be like, girl, he did you wrong, girl. Now, I don't know what's what and what's who. I don't know if he did or didn't. I do know, like I said, I've had plenty of run-ins and been in rooms with him in the past when he was here in Washington, D.C., both when he was on WPGC as a on-air personality, and also in a couple nightclubs that I frequent or whatever the case may be. And he was hella cool with one of my homegirls or whatever. And he always was welcoming, warm, cool, chilling. You know what I'm saying? Not putting on airs or feeling like he's more than, or all the things that certain celebrities and influences and things start to personify as they, rise or whatever. And this was before his tenure at Rap City. This was before his tenure, doing little things, 106 in Park when he did it, or whatever the case may be. And this is before his move to ATL, or whatever the case may be. Now, I don't want to diminish whatever happened with this young lady, because there's plenty of women out here that have gone through and are going through very abusive situations, and I don't play about that. I despise that through and through. So I'm not going to make light of that. There are some allegations brought about her and a child, or whatever the case may be, but I'm not going to touch that, at least not for now. I kind of fell back and waited. Other people jumped on it, wanted to talk about it, and I wanted to see and feel the temperature of a lot of things and see what's going on. Well, I spoke about it a little bit before, and I kind of spoke from the same vein. I didn't flip sides or do any of that or whatever. Well, here, Tigger kind of puts out his own response at his radio station on his first day back, because they took him off the air, I guess, for a couple of days to kind of investigate or see what's going on, powers that be, sponsors, etc. Probably like, hold up, what's up with Slim? But y'all check out Big Tigger in his own words, huh? Salute to Big Tigger. Keep your head up.
Good morning, Atlanta. I'm extremely privileged to be here this morning, back at work. Over the past several days, there's been significant public discussion and speculation regarding my personal life. I understand this can happen being a public person. I've been doing radio now 32 years and television for 29. I appreciate, first and foremost, the support and concern that so many people have shown. I want to say categorically, these allegations and accusations that have been circulating about me are false, untrue, not happening, didn't happen. Additionally, it's important to clarify that Francesca and I have never been anything more than friends and respected colleagues. I'd like to apologize to you, Francesca, for the impact of these last few days or this last week. I hope you accept my apology. Out of respect for everyone involved, I ask for grace, privacy, and restraint as my family navigates this difficult moment. For more than 30 years, I've had the privilege of serving this in many communities through music, entertainment, and connection. I remain grateful for the trust so many of you have placed in me throughout that journey, and I intend to continue living and leading in that manner worthy of that trust. And to all the people who have either quietly or loudly stood up and stood 10 toes for me, I appreciate it. For the people who have reached out to check on me, I appreciate you. No name dropping necessary. You know who you are.
Now, I will say this. They are definitely going through something. I don't know if it's a divorce, separation, whatever the case may be. He has both said and she have both said that they're going to allow this process to take its course, or whatever the case may be. Could be speaking about investigators seeing that video and deciding to open a case to see what's going on. To my knowledge, he hasn't been charged with anything or whatever the case may be, or it could be just a real messy divorce going on. I hope that's not the case. I hope it's not a case of Brandy and a thin line between love and hate. Now, one of the allegations is or was allegedly that Tigger was having some kind of affair with his online co-host, Francesca, in which he spoke about in his statement. However, both of them categorically deny any improprieties or extracurriculars, that has been strictly professional. Um, I know a lot of people personally that know Big Tigger, and I kind of sat back to watch and see how they were moving and their responses to the things and the allegations and all that. And before I decided to even speak on it when I spoke on it the first time or whatever. Because I look at it like this. Sometimes we be in a rush to get to the news or get to the content or be first to speak on stuff or to put our 1, 2, or even 7 cents in the midst of stuff that sometimes we get it wrong. Sometimes we blatantly out of line, and sometimes we're just being messy, and sometimes we on point, and sometimes we're rightful in what we're doing. So in certain situations, for me, I feel like, okay, I'm gonna sit back, I'm gonna watch, I'm gonna listen, and see what's going on, especially with somebody that I've been around. I don't know him personally. I'm not going to front like, yeah, Big Taylor, that's my dude. I've spoken to him. We dapped up and all these things in the club and all this and that, been in each other's presence. But I can't say that, he's one of the people that I know personally. But I've been around him enough to see his demeanor, see how he carries it with ladies or whatever the case may be, and to hear various accolades from people that I respect in the industry, both in my area and nationally, whatever the case may be. Whatever they got going on, though, whatever they got going on, I hope it works itself out amicably. I hope that both parties, whatever's going on, that they come out on the end of it decently, with their characters intact, with their legacies intact, and all the things. I'm gonna leave that there. Moving on with the moving on. But speaking of which, speaking of this situation and the allegations alleged by his other half or whatever the case may be, leads me. I've spoken about the Young Miami thing, and some of y'all like, Phil, you tripping, you tripping. Mind your business, Phil. Let them have at it. Let them do what they do. If you don't know what I'm talking about that song, Spin That. I'm talking about what they're talking about in Spin That, and the things that they're promoting, not just to grown ass adults who can do what the hell they want to do. Because if that was the case, have at it. But y'all saw in the video where the fly young dancer was made a dance to it that got him all the way in Young Miami's presence, and they did it together at different functions. But he was doing it in a school amongst young kids. Bryson Leach, good morning to you. Doing it amongst little kids, young kids. That's where I got it. That's where I'm like, you got the game effed up. Young Miami, you got the game effed up. Should nobody be promoting, bigging up, making it seem like it's all good to do any type of illegal activities to our youth or with our youth? Now, we as grown people, we definitely know what's right and wrong, long as we have sound mind. So if we choose to live whatever lifestyle or the other, that's on us. But our children are super impressionable. And yes, when we was younger, we did and saw things too, right, as kids. But we didn't have the social media that amplified all of it. And I'm not hating on nobody getting to their bag. I'm not hating on nobody trying to get to it. I do got a problem with perpetuating the bullshit that plagues our communities when it comes to our children. You adults have at it. You'll either benefit or be punished by whatever it is you do in this world, right? But when it comes to our babies, our little ones, anybody that's a father, anybody that's a mother should be able to stamp that you don't be okay with your children watching and listening to certain shit, and you damn sure don't be partying with them, when they little kids and all that, making it seem and sound like it's all good. Where in this clip here, the outspoken rapper D1 from Louisiana, New Orleans, speaks to it eloquently. Eloquent. I like the hook too. It's catchy. Cardi Baptiste is very infectious. It is very, you'll find that, but it's so much more she could have said, and it still would have been litty. She could have been, where are all my bosses at? Where my entrepreneurs at? Where my go-getters at? She could have said a whole bunch of other things, right? But she said scammers and boosters, both that are illegal legal occupations. And again, it's being promoted to our youth, which think that, okay, that's cool. I'm about to go up in the store to this junk. Yeah, matter of fact, I'm going to do content while I'm doing it. And see, that's another thing. We in this day and age where a lot of dumbasses fall in line with the bullshit. You're going to find somebody who either has done it or will do it, run up in the store stealing or showing you that they scamming while playing this damn song, incriminating themselves like some dumbasses. It's the new generation. It's not surprising. Hey, Bryson, listen. I'm going to play this video, then we're going to talk about it. I'm with you, Phil. Stop trying to sensationalize boosted and not doing right. That's a fact. Y'all check out this clip of him speaking about the situation. D1, Young Miami.
The devil just tricked Young Miami with the oldest play in the book. I hate this because I could tell this woman has a sweet heart. Watch this video. The devil's like, what, you just want success? Psh, I give you that. Just push my message and poison your people in return. And she falling for it. And now thinking she's God's favorite. There's multiple scriptures that say God don't have no favorites, you heard me? God cares about obedience to his word. Making an anthem for scamming and shoplifting is not something God is proud of. Life is really a spiritual war. We could be thinking God is blessing us, whole time we getting used as a pawn by the devil. I love you, Young Miami. I pray this reaches you or somebody that's impacted by your art.
You said that you're God's favorite, and you know that you're protected by God. At what moment did you know you were God's favorite?
This moment right here. This moment right here where everybody counted me out. They told me I couldn't do it. They told me to go get my CDLs. I couldn't do it solo. I wasn't the one in the group. And I'm right here. This is the one song. I got the song of the summer. Let's go.
I'm here to publicly unify all the people who vow not to create, support, or promote music that's glorifying murder, drug dealing and drug use, the disrespect of women, sexual irresponsibility. Sign the Platinum Pledge on my website. It'll take 2 seconds, yo. The link is in my bio. We got to come together. You know why?
That ain't hip-hop, no. That's hypocritical hop. Hypocritical hop. Hypocritical hop. Hypocritical hop. Hypocritical hop.
Listen, again, you grown, you do what you want to do, right or wrong or indifferent. That's on you. God ain't going get in the way of your will to do whatever it is you want to do. So who am I, right? But when it comes to them babies, the little ones, the wee peoples, we got to stand in the gap. Some families ain't right. Some family structures ain't right. Some parents aren't right. Some parents don't know how to parent. Some school systems ain't right. The community, the extended family, the village ain't there. We got to stand in the gap for our little ones. I don't give a damn who like it, dislike it, care, feel you bugging. Yeah, I'm bugging. I'm bugging for something good. And just like D1 said, every blessing that you perceive to be a blessing ain't a blessing from God, but indeed a trinket, a gift from the other side of that table. Be careful. Be careful. Lady Costanita, good morning to ye. Dad said, make sure y'all check the gas pumps when you get gas. The scammers, they put in a nail so they can get your credit card and get free gas. That's a fact. I reported on that here, Daz, probably 3, 4, 5 weeks ago. I reported on that and showed the video of them with the screw. It don't allow for the thing to come back down to cut the pump off after you get your gas or whatever. So be mindful of that. That's a fact. Hey, times is rough. I don't mind support. You grown though, Inspector Elite. That's the thing. You grown. You're grown. It's all what you choose to do and what you choose not to do, who you choose to support, who you choose not to support. That's you. But if you got any children, if your loved ones got children, I would hope you don't want them exposed to it more than what they already going to be exposed to, because the world is going to be the world. Temptation is going to be outside your front door. Peer pressure gonna be there like a mug, but it's a thing of what do we do as responsible adults? What do we do as parents? What do we do as the extended village for our youth? No matter if they're in your neighborhood or another neighborhood or across the country or maybe even across the world, we got to be mindful and do diligent and stand in the gap and be a hedge because there's a storm. A storm is coming. You feel me? A storm is coming. Now, before I move forward, I want to give a shout out to the New York Knicks. The New York Knicks took it in 5 and have become the 2026 NBA champions. The city is going brazy. It's going up. It's going up. The city is on one. I'm loving to see the energy, most of it. There's some foolery and some violence that don't need to happen. Come on, New York. Come on, New York. But I love to see the vibrance of all the boroughs coming together to cheer and be in support and be united over the fact that the Knicks have taken the championship. What I need to see, though, New York, is that same unity when it comes to public affairs, when there's police brutality, when there's injustices, when there's things that's happening in your communities. I need to see y'all united just as such. Don't fragment back off. Y'all done got together, thousands of y'all outside, having at it, and rightfully so, because it's been many, many moons since y'all done got that championship back to back home or whatever. So I applaud you. I celebrate you. I salute you. New York, y'all got something to be proud about. That part, huh? When the hell is the damn Wizards gonna get a damn championship? Probably never. God damn it. Washington Wizards, y'all need to go back to the Washington Bullets. That's what you need to do. I've been saying that for some years, huh? Seem like your drawers that just came off and you done put on something else when you became the Wizards. But I ain't gonna say nothing about that. Drop a clue bomb for the. I ain't got the bomb on here. I ain't got the bomb, but I give you the Don Juan DeMarco. I give you that. You know what I'm saying? even though all the races was tearing the city up, guess whose faces is being seen? Man, listen, that's a fact. That's a fact. I'm so mad they turned something so positive. Yeah. Speaking of activities and things, though, right? There's been events on the White House grounds forever and a day since I was a little fella. The annual Easter egg roll and hunt and all those things. That's one event that I personally went to one year. I got to meet the guy that played Tattoo on original Fantasy Island. The plane, boss, the plane. Some of y'all youngers don't know what show I'm talking about, but I got to meet certain actors and characters and things as a little tyke or whatever. And it was a wonderful experience. But to see the White House bastardized, I say, because it's the White House, the home of the President of the United States, bastardized by putting a damn UFC event, building up a structure to have the UFC event right there on the White House grounds. Of all the places and spaces they could have put this thing, even to have it in D.C., they put it on the White House grounds. To me, is a shit stain on the city. It's a shit stain on our country. It's a shit stain on everything that we've learned and know to be good about politics and all that, because everything we know about politics ain't good. Trust and believe. Yeah, Paul Wizards, Nelly Nail. I said the same thing. The name change did him real bad. And some of the foolishness that came out of the UFC event. And they did it to celebrate the 250th year of being. Also, Frumpy Frump is trying to get on a new legal tender, legal bill, a $250 bill at that. Make that make sense. However, the clips that I've seen, and I'm not going to say that the event might not have been a great event, but some of the effery that I've seen come out of it by one, maybe two fighters or whatever the case may be, just put a pause, a bitter taste in my mouth. Pause. I'm just like, they had people doing Evel Knievel stunts on bikes and all kinds of shit on the White House grounds or whatever. You mean there's no other park land or no other open areas you could have did that at than to do it on the White House grounds at a time when you at a war with another country or other countries, at a time where food prices is going through the roof, gas prices are high, homelessness is at an all-time high, hunger is hella heavy, weighing on households and individuals. You mean to tell me that you found the money to put this together or to allow it? I'll say this. You right, Uptown J. If President Obama would have did that, y'all would have wanted to take him out. Y'all would have wanted to have done something to him. To this day, his name would have been dragged through the deepest, oiliest, dirtiest, stinkiest mud ever. I'm gonna let that sit right there. Now, had Obama did anything remotely close to this, that's a fact. Just like we're still talking about his tan suit. That's a fact. Too much is too much. Too much is too much. And at some point, people around him need to have their enough moment. People in Congress and Senate gonna need to get their I had enough moment. People of the public need to get to that point and get on their local representatives and make them do something about it. That's all I'm going to say on that. I'm going to leave that alone, but UFC, okay, cool. On the White House grounds, though, come on, man. In the words of Ed Lover, come on, son. Come on, son. I'm going to move on. This next situation is a police officer, police and an individual driver's interactions. I want y'all to pay attention and listen to everything's going on. Something that I know a lot of people have done through the years and probably still do, that I ain't never heard of nobody being pulled over for, bothered for, dealt with, or none of the things. Who's wrong in this situation? The driver, the police. The police, the driver. I do say it sounds to me like the police was fishing, that they wanted it to escalate. They wanted things to be what it was. But, I'm going to let y'all be the judge of it, say whether he should have just complied. But to me, it was a whole bunch of bullshittery. Rich Hart was goody like the mob. I see you. Y'all watch this video for your boy. Carmelo Anthony, we get into it in a minute, huh?
My partner just advised me that you ashed out the window. So do you have your driver's license?
You said that what out the window?
You ashed out the window.
Drop
ash what?
Whatever you were smoking. So do you have your driver's license?
My Black and Mild.
Yeah. So you ashed your Black and Mild out the window.
And
do
what
you have your
driver's
license or an ID card with you?
I need a supervisor.
No, sir. Do you have your driver's license or identification card with you? You're subject to a citation for littering.
Can I see what that's written there?
Yeah, sure. I need your identification, please.
Okay, sir. I'll be right here. Let me see what that's written there.
No, sir. I need your identification,
No, yes,
please.
sir. Yes, sir.
Sir, I need your identification or a driver's license,
So
please.
a citation for...
Correct, for littering. You can't ash out the window.
Ashes?
Correct.
Cigarette ashes?
Correct. Yes, sir. So I need your identification card, please.
I need to speak with a supervisor.
No, sir. You need to provide me with
No,
your
yes,
identification
sir.
or you're
I need
placed
to
under arrest
speak with
for
a
obstruction.
supervisor.
Sir, unless you're trying to go to jail for obstruction, I suggest...
Obstruction of what? You haven't shown... I can't speak with no
without
supervisor.
violence. No, sir. No.
I can't...
No.
Why not?
No. You can call them on your phone that you're...
No, you're supposed to call a supervisor.
No, sir. No, I'm
You're
not.
supposed to call a supervisor.
No, sir.
Why
I need
not?
your driver's license.
Why
please.
can't you call a supervisor?
No, sir.
Why not?
You can call a supervisor.
No, why can't you call a
Because you're
supervisor?
not going to run interference or delay this traffic stop by requesting a supervisor. I need
You
your
gotta have a
identification.
you gotta
You're gonna
have
be
a
placed under
supervisor.
arrest.
You gotta have a supervisor.
Okay, fine. Provide me with your identification.
You gotta
and I
have
will
a supervisor. Call a supervisor.
Provide me with your identification, or I will call a supervisor.
You heard what he just said? So you can't call a supervisor. You can or you can't.
No, sir, because right now
You just said you can call a
You asking for a
Listen,
supervisor
man,
is
you
not
gotta
gonna
call
run
a
interference on this
supervisor.
traffic stop.
Listen.
Would you like to be placed under arrest for obstruction?
Listen, you gotta call a supervisor.
Sir, would you like to be placed under arrest
You
for
gotta
obstruction?
call a supervisor.
Would you like to be placed under arrest, sir?
You have to call a supervisor.
Sir, I need your driver's license,
For
your identification
what?
card,
For what?
your name, because you're
For
subject
what?
to a citation for littering.
You need to call a supervisor.
No, sir.
Yeah, yes you do.
No, sir.
That's standard procedure.
Sir, what's your name?
That's procedure.
Sir, are you refusing to identify yourself when you're subject to a citation?
That's procedure. You have to call the supervisor.
Let me try this. Can I explain it to you maybe a little differently?
Maybe you're a little more competent than your comrade.
It's not about competent. So
I can't tell.
listen.
Shit, look at the way he acting.
So this is
Talking
what
about
happened.
competent.
This is the step-by-step process. I'm going to explain to you one time. and
Where you
then
from?
We're going to go from there.
Where you
So
from?
you flicked your cigarette
Where
out
you
the
from?
window.
I didn't
It's
flick my
considered-
cigarette
yeah,
out
you
the
did.
window.
Yeah,
No,
you did.
no, ashes.
Yeah,
Ashes.
Yeah, you can't out
Ashes.
Yeah, you can't flick ashes out the window. That's
Can I
considered-
see what that's at? No supervisor,
Yes.
no
One
paperwork,
supervisor.
no
Yeah, yeah.
nothing.
So let me get there. Let me get there. Right? So you flick.
I mean,
the
listen,
cigarette-
no disrespect, but
Get out.
comprehend.
21, we get a
Comprehend.
51, please.
Get out.
Get out.
Sorry about that. Sorry about that. What I was saying was there's a lot to unpack here. There's a lot to unpack. Thank you. Yes, technically, him dropping ashes, I guess, could be considered littering, but they would have to prove that in a court of law. They would have to prove that. What they gonna do? Go back on the road and try to find the ashes and scoop them up in an evidence bag? How, Sway? How? Make it make sense. And I've seen police officers do it. I've seen citizens do it. Men, women of all colors, persuasions, ethnic orientation, sexual affiliation, all the things. I've seen a plethora of people walking and doing it, driving and doing it, whether it was a cigarette or joint or whatever the case may be. Can y'all hear me, CL? Can y'all hear me now? Can y'all hear me? Because I did unmute it. Can y'all hear me? Give me a thumbs up if y'all can hear me. Give me a thumbs up if y'all can hear me, or 100 in the comments. Okay, thank you, Zolan. Yeah. Excuse me. How are they going to prove this in a court of law? Now, what he shouldn't have did, the fella in the car should have never said, yeah, I flicked my ashes out. He shouldn't have never admitted to none of that. That's rule number one. When you speed, you don't out and out say, yeah, I was speeding. You don't out and out say, because then they got you either on body cam or they got you saying certain things that they will use against you in a court of law, even if it's traffic court. As soon as it went out his window, it's gone. That's a factamundo. That's a fact. It would have just made sense to give your ID, get the situation, and prove your innocence in court. Why escalate the situation? Some people are so dumb. Me so blessed. Hey, I see you. Welcome to the room. I agree to a certain extent. Me so blessed. I agree to a certain extent. However, it's kind of asinine that they pulled him over for plucking ashes. Ashes. He didn't drop a cigarette out the window. He didn't drop nothing out the window. Ashes that would have been gone in the wind. And technically, Angie, GMG, I see you. Technically, if there is no real legal infraction, they have no probable cause to stop him in the first place. And if they have no real probable cause to stop him in the first place, he does not have to tender his license. And we don't know whether or not he was driving. Well, it does say driving. So I'm gonna pull that one back. He was ash out. What's up, Rich? It's no different than someone stepping out the car and dusting the crumbs off. Bingo. It's no different than someone stepping out of their car and dusting the crumbs off their clothes after they finish eating. Make it make sense. That's a waste of police. That's a waste of our public dollars going to this public servant doing police work when there are real crimes going on. To pull somebody over for flicking ashes out their car. I bet you they don't run up on their fellow officers when they littering while they out on the job. Or like Young Dre said, dust their clothes off after they didn't ate some food with some crumbs didn't drop. I bet you for the officers that smoke cigars and cigarettes when they're coming out, when they're outside the precinct or wherever they can smoke without getting in trouble, that they ain't getting in trouble for plucking they cigar ashes or cigarette ashes. I guarantee that. Smoking creates ashes, and smoking outside is not illegal. If he throws the butt, it's littering, but the ashes is ridiculous. That's what I'm saying. So who's really at fault? I get me so blessed. I get what she's saying though. I get why not just give you your ID or whatever the case may be. But technically, that officer was supposed to, when he asked for a supervisor on the scene, that officer was supposed to get on the horn and get a supervisor to the scene, because the stop was asinine within itself. However, me so bless you, right. Give him the ID, take the little citation, make him look like an ass in court. Make the officer look like an ass in court for the whole thing. Miles was goody like the mob. Take the little ticket and go home. They'll throw that out. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's a fact. We are so easily triggered because we want to think on the emotional side of things. Just give your ID and move on with your day. The back and forth with police is so ignorant. People never learn. In some instances, yes, I agree with you, me so blessed. But in other instances, it's really warranted. Now, in that situation, it's very much muddy waters, gray area. Yeah, I agree. He should have just gave it what you call it, and he have to, that's it. He has to call for a supervisor. Legally, he has to. He could have got the ID after the fact, or waited until he got to the scene. The supervisor got to the scene. K-Mo the Virgo over on IG says, good morning. It happened to me. The passenger flicked it out the window, said it could start a fire in the open field. I was also leaving the club. They just wanted to ask me questions. Profiling, huh? That's what I was getting to with this whole thing. That's what I was getting to with this whole stop. Because it seemed asinine that they pulled him over because he flicked some damn ashes out his damn window. Next, they're going to start giving tickets for farting. Whoop, whoop. Pull over your ass too, Rancid. I'm just saying. They knew they didn't have a reason to stop him. That's why they refused to get a supervisor. They knew they didn't have a reason. They supposed to produce a white shirt at the request too, so they both wrong. Exactly. Once that request is made legally and lawfully, they are supposed to do such. Whether it's inconvenient for them, whether they don't like it, whether they feel disrespected, or whether they feel like, who are you and how dare you question my duties and what I'm telling you to do. Once the white shirt or supervisor is requested, They are supposed to get on the horn and request one to the scene, period. Even if they detained him in the interim, even if they detained him. These cops need more training. 6 months is not enough. That's a fact. I don't have the outcome, sexy sugar mama. I could almost guarantee you that his situation probably was thrown out, though. I could guarantee that his situation was probably thrown out because the subsequent arrest came off the stop. And the stop itself, a citable offense, isn't necessarily, to my knowledge, or it ain't an arrestable offense. Now, him failing to produce ID, because in some states they don't even arrest you if you don't have your ID on you. Some states. So, I'm not going to touch that because different states, different strokes for different folks. I seen a guy get arrested for wearing his hoodie last week. It's getting weird. He got arrested that day for sure. That's a myth. They don't have to get a supervisor, take it from a primal. I know. What the hell is a primal mean? What does that mean, Rich Hart? What does primal mean, first of all? But yes, you are. I'll say where I live at, they definitely are. Now, whether they do or don't, that's a total nother thing. But legally and lawfully, they definitely are. They called him for they arrested him for obstruction. Okay. Take it from a criminal, I know. The cops are under a lot of pressure, being forced to make a quota as well. Yeah. No, it is not legally required in any state for a police officer to summon a supervisor to the scene simply because a citizen has. It's not a law. Is it procedure, though? Is it proper procedure, me so blessed? Is it proper procedure? That's not true, bro. Just look it up. I will. And then look, if I'm wrong, I stand corrected. However, going back to an individual that I've spoken about on this platform who's like an uncle, second father to me, who happened to retire from DC police as a detective sergeant, who was on homicide at the time, who got on me for not even bringing my situation to him, who could have got it all taken care of, or whatever the case may be, who was a friend, a father to my one-time best friend and another friend of mine who were brothers and sisters, told me once that as part of your rights, you can ask for a supervisor to be sent to the scene. This is coming from a police officer. This is coming from a man who was actively and respected in DC police. Highly respected. Highly respected. Yeah, you know who I'm talking about now? R.I.P. to JoJo, Big JoJo, Joseph Thomas. Now the laws might be different in your state or your locale, but I'm telling you what a police officer, a detective told me personally. Now, y'all can say whatever you want. I know this man to be truthful. He took me into a precinct to smack a police officer. Hey, Nail, me, Wayne, Junior, Flam, all of us was leaving the Go-Go, leaving the Metro Club one night. And I had a little mask on my face. You know, we used to wear the mask right here. We ain't had the poo shiesties back then. And they pulled me over. I had that 73 Caddy, that midnight blue joint that I got from Big Al. They pulled us over because they say we look suspicious. They said they had us outside the car, and I was giving a little lip and a little bit. But I had my hands on the car, and the officer hauled off and smacked the dog shit out of me. When JoJo found out about it, because I think they did something to Wayne too, he took me over to their precinct, hollered at the watch commander, who he knew well, brought me into the room where they had roll call, when they start their shifts, and asked me which one of these people put their hands on you. I said, that one right there. He said, go over there and smack the shit out of him like he smacked you. I ain't never seen no shit like this a day in my life, ladies and gentlemen. And probably would never see it again. And the watch commander of that district told him, and you bet not do nothing. And I hauled off and blah! I felt like Superman that day. I felt like Superman that day. Played no games. That's a fact of mundo. Good man. Good man. My brother is an officer for over 20 years. It's not law in any state. No, they do not have to summon a supervisor. No, it's not a procedure or law in any state. I would like to have a conversation with you, Me So Blessed, because I don't know about that and how you know it's not procedure, law, or code in any and every state. I'm just saying. It's not law in any state. Look it up. I will. Remember, Big Phil, Miso is speaking from a 10-year law enforcement experience. JoJo was on the force for way more than 20 years. JoJo was on the police force when my grandfather was a police officer. He retired in 72. Hey, tomatoes. He was vicious and well-respected. That's a fact. Tomatoes. I feel above the law. Like, right, Rich Harder? Boy, because when he first said it, I looked at him like, are you crazy? He was like, nah, because he can't pick me up. He said, we going to get this straight now. I said, all right. I got in the car when we went down there. Me, him, Dwayne, we went down there, Joan. R.I.P. Dwayne. And when he told me to do it the first time, I looked at him like, you bugging. Because all these officers looking at me like, what the hell is going on? Probably put you on the shit list with that district of, hey, Miles, back then I was already on a couple shit lists or whatever, just for different things that I'd have did or whatever, or when my name came up. A lot has changed since 72. I said he was a police officer since 72. Me so blessed. I didn't say that was his era. He came on the force somewhere around about them days or whatever. However, when did JoJo retire? I can't remember when JoJo retired. He's been dead like a few years now, but he definitely was around. He still was a police officer in the crack era. He was definitely that. They knew not to play with JoJo. That's a fact. My best friend, a white shirt, if you ask for a supervisor, they have to call one. Thank you, Des. That's what I'm saying. It might not be so in your area, but I believe that it's protocol and procedure. Whether it's a written law, it's police procedure to do so. I think it's for public safety or whatever the case may be. I don't know. Now, of course, I'm not officer friendly. I don't know. I am well versed in a lot of the law, especially in my area, just because I've been involved with different things or whatever the case may be. But I can't speak for every city and state. I can't. And speaking of such, I'm gonna move on with the move on. But let me say this. I guess the consensus is both of them were wrong, right? Kmo, the Virgo over on IG says, but it is protocol. It is their choice to do their job. Woo! It is protocol, but it's their choice to do their job. Woo! That's deep. I like that one. But anywho, speaking of such, speaking of things that have taken place, I want to get right into this Carmelo Anthony case or whatever the case may be. Y'all be like, damn, Phil, why you keep bringing it up? I think for the safety of that young man, I think for the safety of judicial procedure, I think for the system itself that's unraveling in different ways in different places, that his case is paramount to be kept on the forefront of situations. And yes, some people would say, but there's so many other brothers and sisters that have gone through and this, that, and the third. Yes, his has the attention. That's why it needs to be out there. Plus, with the connections behind the individuals on the father side and all that, it needs to stay out in the front because it makes it more difficult for revenge and get back to be enacted on that young man while he's incarcerated up until the time that hopefully he can get either the ineffective counsel situation, get him out, or an appeal, or whatever the case may be. But definitely, no, you can ask for, but it's not protocol for them to oblige. I'll say that. You should really check your facts. There is no city, state, or jurisdiction where a police officer is legally required to summon a Okay, you stand on that, me so blessed, and I'll stand on the fact that an actual tenured, respected police officer told me so. Now, you say your brother is a police officer, but you never once said your brother told you X, Y, Z, and why he would just willy-nilly out the blue tell you that that's not legal or not a law or procedure or protocol. You never said that. However, you have added, I know from personal experience from a police officer to be a different way. Dad said, and he lives in New York, he's in a whole nother area than me, said it is so. No, you can ask, but it's not protocol for them to oblige. I don't know. Phil, what his mom and pops did with the $1 million, that's a thing too. That's a thing too. There was a lot of lies told in that whole situation. Why are they fighting on the White House lawn? What they got go? I said that you missed it, Miles. I talked about that UFC bullshit too. I spoke on that too. The same one that told you exactly. Rich Hart took me in the precinct, into the precinct, into the room where they was having roll call or whatever, I guess a signing squads or whatever the case may be. Yeah, the exact same one. Because one, Rich Hart, I could have filed a complaint against that officer and made the police department look bad and all the other things too. So the way it was presented was like, you take it this way or you get it that way. And that officer's career, because I think that officer was caught up in some other things too. You take this little lashing here, or you get put on Front Street and lose your job, or whatever the case may be. But anyway, moving the figgity on, or whatever the case may be. But the fact that I keep bringing up the Carmelo Anthony situation is because, one, again, for those that don't know, for those that ain't heard my story, I once was charged in a murder case at 17, like Carmelo Anthony. I once was tried and went to trial at 19, like Carmelo Anthony. My outcome was different than his. Thank God, December 28th, 1992, I was acquitted by a jury of my peers. Folks that look like me and you, my peers, but it was DC, of course, so it would have been, especially during that time. My trial didn't last 3, 4, 5 days. My trial lasted 2-3 weeks, maybe slightly over 3 weeks. Had I been found guilty, I probably would have been stepped back to go to jail because I was out on outside of jail at the time, or whatever the case may be. But I damn sure wouldn't have been sentenced that same day. I would have been brought back for sentencing. After I would have been sentenced, I would have been sitting over in DC jail or down Lawton or whatever the case may be, because Lawton was still open. Until such time, but more so it probably would have been DC jail, until such time that they would have found a bed for me, and then I would have been moved on to where I was going to serve my time at. Damn sure wouldn't have happened all in the same day of being found guilty, being sentenced, and pushed out the back door to said facilities. Before I go forward, let me shout out the people that I've seen covering this situation that got boots on the ground. Ratchet TV, Queen 88, Just Say No to Sco, smash the topic. Watching the world. Who else? I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Those are the people I could think of off the top that have been giving constant conversation, constant dialogue, constant footage on the situation. Rainwater, who is Mo3's manager. Who else? Various other outlets and entities or whatever the case may be. Salute to them. I don't know if Ratchet, if you're still in here, but salute to you. There's been a lot going on in this case, and there's a lot of things that have shaken certain people's boots. There's a lot of power plays going on, a lot of behind the scenes wrangling, suppression, scare tactics, and other things that are affecting not only content creators, meteorologists, and journalists, but this young man's life, the family, and other people involved. You went from jail to prison. Yeah, of course, yeah. I wasn't no damn 10 in 72. Carmelo Anthony didn't have a snowball's chance in hell winning his case because Metcalf's father, the attorney, and the judge are friends. That was a huge conflict of interest. I was just on a panel last night on Watching the World. Queen 88 was up there before I got up there, but I got up there. Mama Flip was there, and the attorney, I can't think of the attorney's name, but he practices out of Dallas or whatever the case may be, out of Texas. And I asked him a few questions or whatever, and he, downplayed certain things. He said certain things weren't true or whatever the case may be. But something just don't sit right with the whole situation. Why are people getting so afraid to continue to push forward in the situation? Why are people dialing it back? Is it the family? Is it Carmelo Anthony's family the reason why? Is it the Metcalfs? Is it the system? I would say probably the latter two. And I'm gonna tell you why. Anytime the Attorney General of the state of Texas gets involved to quash, to seal evidence in a case as pivotal as this, something's going on there. Two, the fact that in a case like this, that has potential historical magnitude to it, to push cameras out of the court when there's already certain racial tensions in the air, not just with that case, but just in the world around us. Because I believe if he would have put the cameras in the court, you would have both saw some misnomers, some falsehoods on certain things. Might have changed your perspective on the black and white thing totally. It might have been more of a classist thing or other things or whatever the case may be. But people are receiving phone calls behind the scenes to shut the figgity up, that it'd be best for them to leave it alone, to let it go on under the rug, under the carpet where they want it to be, to let it be forgotten. I was told last night that the Talon Metcalf over the Bird Center, the senior warden or whatever his position is now over there, that he ain't related to Jeff Metcalf and the Metcalf twins. However, when you Google the information, it definitely says they're related. It definitely says they're related. Then I found out the grandfather was a warden at a time down there. So they're deeply entrenched in Texas, specifically the Dallas, Fort Worth, Collins County, all them areas in law enforcement relationships, political relationships, power relationships, etc. And it should open your eyes to see why the trial went the way that it did. There's been stories of saying that, and yes, the trial is over. It won't be overturned. He could possibly get a reduced sentence, but sadly, it's over for that young man. That's not necessarily true, because if it does come out that there was any prosecutorial misconduct, that's grounds for it to be thrown out in a retrial or just or exoneration. If he had incompetent representation, I'm saying the wrong word, but you get what I'm saying. That's another ground for him to be for a new trial and or for the verdict to be overturned or whatever the case may be. However, whatever's going on down there in Texas is something real wicked going on down there. I'm gonna say that. Because there's been testimony, there's been witnesses coming forth during the trial and after the trial that says that Dwayne Summers was good. Shout out to you from across the pond, mate. That he didn't poke R.I.P. Austin Metcalf, but that in the midst of the tussle and aggressive actions of Austin Metcalf, that he fell on the knife. Yes, whatchamacallit was holding. You'll say why he had a knife and all those things. Cool. However, it brings me to this. Yeah, where is it at? Okay. It brings me to this, which I couldn't understand why this wasn't really presented, to my knowledge, in the open case while the case was going on. Where is it at? Here we go. We all want to see the footage, but they sealed the footage. Why would you seal the footage? If he's guilty, put it out there. If he's innocent, put it out there. It provides clarity as to what really took place on that unfortunate day at that track meet. But check this out. The first picture you see is Carmelo Anthony in a hospital as a result of a 2024 epileptic episode. He has epilepsy. Anybody that has epilepsy know it can be triggered by a number of things. Suffered from a head injury. The other picture at the top is him with a shoulder injury that he sustained that required surgery in 2025. I'm gonna read what I got to go along with that. The third picture, you get to see the disparaging difference between the twins, allegedly, and Carmelo, allegedly. There are many details the public still doesn't know that may eventually come to light. Because of the gag order placed on the case shortly after the incident, neither Carmelo's family nor his supporters and advocates were allowed to speak publicly about many aspects of what happened. Carmelo has epilepsy and suffered a serious head injury in 2024 as a result of an epileptic episode. Just a few weeks before the incident in 2025, before the incident, the unaliving or the unfortunate incident with Austin Metcalf, he also suffered a shoulder injury that required surgery and was still in the healing process. For someone living with epilepsy and recovering from recent injuries, a physical altercation can pose very serious risk. You can literally die if you get into a fight with epilepsy. Carmelo feared for his safety and believed his life was in danger. When he was confronted by multiple individuals, he acted out of self-preservation And in an effort to protect himself, those Metcalf boys and others jumped on Carmelo in Collin County trying to hide it. Remember, Carmelo is 5'8", 130 pounds. Those twins are 6'1", and over 200 pounds. So there's a slight little bit difference than that picture, but you get the gist of it. Now, this is one person reporting on it, but the important thing to hear in it all is people wonder why he didn't fight or wasn't really trying to fight or whatever the case may be. Now, mind you, because they don't want us to see and know the truth. Aha. Exactly, Rich Hart. There's open testimony that he was seated. He was seated the whole time up until the physicalities happened or whatever the case may be. There was testimony that when he got up to leave, run off or whatever the case may be, he ran to a coach. He ran to somebody to get help because he was distraught behind what just happened. 2, that he was chased at first until they realized that something was going on with Austin. Yes, the case has been adjudicated, but has it been adjudicated fairly? That's part of the problem that I'm having here. Too many people are willing to shut the doors on this case. Not enough people are willing to break the doors open and make them come forth with all the information, all the evidence, whether it exonerates Carmelo Anthony or makes him look like a true killer. Either way, there needs to be some transparency in this case because of the way in which the trial went, the way in which the sentencing went, the way in which he was whisked off to prison that fast, and where allegedly they were trying to send him to. Now, the attorney I spoke to last night did say that they pissed off a lot. They pissed off a few people in that area with this case in the press conference they did after the situation. Okay, cool. Feelings, emotions. But that does not supersede, is not supposed to supersede a person's right to a fair and speedy trial, a person's right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty, until to be given the opportunity to defend the allegations fully and wholly through your representation. It doesn't change that. Yeah, he was clearly distraught. He gonna win on appeal, but he shouldn't have to go through that. Facts, Rich Hart. Facts. What I miss? That's more important than anything else now. It's going to happen in one day too. So fast will be no time to prepare. I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna continue to talk about this. Some people sit on this side of the table. Some people sit on this side of the table. Some people are still teetering along the edges of whatever. Listen to this young man. I want you to hear this young man and his thoughts on the situation. And it lets you know that the youth are watching this, that our youth are watching this. And it's an unfortunate set of events. People talking about why he have a knife or the multi-tool at the scene, when there's been testimony that other children had similar knives, the exact knife or exact multi-tool on them to clean their cleats out from the track and field activities or other activity, other sports activity that they might have been involved with. I'm not too sure about that, so I'm not going to push narrative on that. However, if the law said it's not legal, I'm not illegal, then that kind of takes that off the table. Some people say having it on school grounds. It is my understanding, and I could be wrong about that the track meet wasn't at the school. That the track meet wasn't at a school, but at a some kind of facility or something, some kind of outdoor event space or track and field space. I could be wrong about that. However, our youth are watching this, and I want you to hear it from this young man.
I know I haven't said anything in a while, but because I've been at a loss for words, in a very short span of time, we've had one brother lose his life and another brother be sentenced to 35 years in jail at only 17 years old. You know, it's scary because I know that for a long time, people have hated our skin tone and killed us just because of our skin tone. But I know that in today's day and age, we have a brother killing another brother. So no matter what, it looks like we're always losing. In those videos that I see of people's pictures or people's names of these black brothers on different memorials and on different videos of them losing their lives, it's like, it's scary because I know that these are young black brothers and I know I'm a young black brother. I know other races are losing their life too, but this really hits hardest to me because I'm also a young black man. And I know that the scary part is one day I could be that young black man whose picture is shown in that video. I could be that young black man who has balloons going into the sky because I lost my life, and that's very scary for me at only 13 years old. So yes, the videos and the interviews are important about you speaking up about it, but right now, we need action. We need people to get their hands dirty and say something about what's going on and actually do something, build programs, protests, outreaches, anything to really help the young black man live longer. Stay out of the streets for the rest of his life, stay out of jail for the rest of his life. So I really need all of you guys to help me push this narrative, push this trend. Because it's just scary for me at the end of the day. And I want you guys to really, I'm sorry, this is just really important to me, but I hope you guys continue to have a wonderful, great, and amazing day and really listen to what I just said, because I'm glad I was able to put this on your mind today. I want you guys to always remember that positivity is always a plus, because taking action for something that you believe in is positive.
Out of the mouth of babes. That's a fact. I see so many people say that this is an incident that could be prevented, that Carmelo shouldn't have been there. He shouldn't have been sitting where he was sitting at. He shouldn't have had no blade on him, or whatever the case may be, whether it was a full-on knife, multi-tool, or whatever you want to categorize it as, right? I hear everybody putting the weight on Carmelo, even though he was invited over to sit in the tent before the other individuals, before the Metcalf twins and others allegedly came into the tent. But you don't hear too many people saying that Austin could have prevented his own demise, that Hunter could have prevented his twin brother from the situation happening to him. The people that were with Austin and Hunter, that they could have stood up and stood in the gap and prevented the situation from escalating. There's all this talk about Carmelo could have did this, Carmelo should have did this, Carmelo shouldn't have did that, Carmelo shouldn't have had this, Carmelo shouldn't have been sitting here. Though he could legally, lawfully sit where he was sitting, legally, lawfully had what he had, but all of a sudden, the burden of who's at fault falls on Carmelo, even though Carmelo didn't get up out of his seat to attack said individual, even though Carmelo sat down until what time he was pushed or pulled, or they said it was more like a football move, which is a lot more force than a push or pull. Even if they had words, even if they, because let's be clear. Hey, Angelique, even if let's be clear. The schools, they go through banter. Yeah, your team's some shit. Yeah, y'all weak. Y'all some trash. All the things. And some people do get mostly invested, and some people take it to heart, and some people want to do things. It happens, right? But why is the weight of it all just lying on the young man who sat there after being invited there, sat there, didn't get up, who asked him not to put hands on him, gave him a warning, which to me should be anybody's God-given right to defend themselves, however they see fit, to me. But no weight is being put on the young man who unfortunately lost his life in the situation. Because if Austin would have minded his business, if Austin would have sat his ass on down with his friends, if Austin would have said whatever he said and left it alone, if Austin wouldn't have put his hands on Carmelo, we would have never had this case. No matter if Carmelo would have got up and left, no matter if Carmelo would have got up and got somebody else, got some authority, no matter if Carmelo did or didn't have that knife on him, make it make sense. Make it make sense. It's a very sad situation. And again, I in no means are demeaning or demoting or lessening the fact that Austin Metcalf lost his life. I'm not doing that. No way, shape, or form. It was a very unfortunate set of circumstances. The problem is how it was handled after the incident happened. The charges they levied on Carmelo are foul. Given the circumstances, my question is, how many other young men have these brothers bullied and got away with? Unfortunately, they tried bullying the wrong guy, and thus the outcome. And allegedly, from the ground, they said them brothers has been in the midst of bullshit for years. That's why they were going to alternative schools at the time, because of their conduct in school. Again, alternative schools aren't for the good kids. What the hell? Alternative school isn't for model students. It's not a special program for those that are gifted and talented. It's not an elite school for pristine athletes and the like and the such. Alternative school is usually for the troubled children, for those that can't function properly or don't function properly or get in too much trouble in regular school settings, and have been either been suspended habitually or done something that their one suspension was harsh enough that they had to be pushed into alternative school. Don't let that go past your head. One, it's a lose-lose situation. Hard to defend murder of a kid, bro. This bullying stuff been going on since school was created. They gonna unalive them all off. I was a kid before it happens. It does happen. But in this day and age, some things that flew, some things that were okay, some things that were part of the course when we were younger ain't part of the course now. Certain games we played amongst us as kids could get you a charge. Playing certain games in between the boys and girls that we played as youth can get you charged now as in this day and age. It is a different age. Everybody's more sensitive. Everybody's more up in arms. There's a lot more bullshit in the game. But the process definitely was not fair. And there's reasonings behind that as such. I'm gonna get to the bottom to what's going on down there, what behind the scenes calls are being made, and why people are starting to back up off this case. Prominent individuals backing up off the case. People worrying about their businesses, their money, livelihood, and in some instances, maybe even their safety. I'm going to find out why. There's been one organization that's been mentioned in this whole thing, and it makes sense why the process moved the way that it did, because a lot of judges are part of this organization, a lot of police officers and law enforcement are part of this organization, a lot of lawyers, a lot of individuals are part of this organization. I'm not going to mention their name, but y'all can put one with the one and make it two. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And they are obligated as a part of this organization to look out for their fellow brother that's a part of this organization, no matter what. Y'all can put the one with the two with that. Audrey Dupree, good morning to ye. We know the judicial system concerning black boys and men. George Stinney Jr., 14-year-old black boy who was wrongfully executed in South Carolina in 1944. Factamundo. But it's a shame, me so blessed, that in 2026, people are still unfairly, unjustly, and or over prosecuted. Okay, I definitely do, Miles. I definitely do. 100%. You'll see what I'm saying in the future. Just when you do, when you see me again on social media, just let me know I was right. Let me say this. Right? It's a shame that in 2026 that we have to deal with injustices. Now, some of y'all will say that prosecuting him is just, given what happened. Okay, I'm not going to argue that, even though I still feel like it's a form of self-defense and people have gotten off for worse and got lesser time. But what I do think is murder one shouldn't have been on the table. The top charge, if any, that should have been on the table should have been manslaughter, and they should have had criminally negligent homicide, which is the least charge in somebody losing their life. They should have had them two on the table, not murder one and manslaughter. And to my knowledge, they didn't even have criminally negligent homicide as available to be considered. And if anything, if you want to say he's guilty of something, which I don't think he is, but if you want to say he's guilty of something, it would have been criminally negligent homicide. But it carries so little time, they didn't want that to happen. They definitely didn't want that to happen. I've been cautious. I've been cautious and careful. Because I'm an outsider in this situation. I'm not from that area, whatever the case may be, even though I got aspirations of being in that area in the near future. I'm not from that area. However, that situation down there is not an isolated situation, one. Two, it's a situation that not only affects the Dallas-Fort Worth area and surrounding areas, Collin County and all the things, but it also affects things that happen across this country. That case is going to be spoken about for years. Because I believe that the appeal process is probably going to go be above and beyond the local level. It's going to have to. Especially since the AG, the Attorney General of the state of Texas, allegedly put the call in to seal the videotape evidence and said that no one is to see it. No one. Who does that? What's up, Tony Mayfield? Salute. Again, if he's truly guilty as been said, put the nail in that coffin, put the footage out, show it. That'll shut a lot of folks up. That'll shut me to figure up. That you don't think he's guilty of anything or some? I think that he's, if anything, he's so blessed he's guilty of criminally negligent homicide. If you say that he wasn't defending himself. What I'm saying is he damn sure it wasn't a premeditated act. It wasn't a calculated act. He didn't go under that tent, yeah, I'm about to do something to somebody. Giving somebody a warning in the moment could lead to a crime of passion, but not pre-calculation or premeditation. Not. Right there, that's it right there, Miles. It's making the government, the Texas government is making the prosecution side, it's making the Metcalfs, is making that whole side look and seem guilty within itself, suppressing evidence that could either exonerate Carmelo Anthony in the eyes of society or put a nail in the coffin as to his guilt, and people will shut the hell up. I will shut the fickety up about it. If he's guilty, have at it. If he was the aggressor, have at it. If he maliciously wounded and unalived that young man, Austin Metcalf, have at it. I'm not going to fight against it. But if it's any other way, then it definitely should be spoke about. And then who knows, me so blessed, if you saw the footage, you might think of it differently. You might be like, wow, no, this is self-defense. No, they got it wrong. Or, me so blessed, you could be able to stand up and say, I told you. Either way it goes, it should be released. No, he's not guilty. Somebody dies every day. He eventually was going to die, just maybe not this early. I'm not that cold-hearted. Rich Hart. Because it is an unfortunate situation. If you were not actually there, and this goes for any of us, you cannot say it was self-defense. You're right. Technically, you're right, me so blessed. But given what's been said and put out there, that's more the reason, me so blessed, why the footage should be released. You're proving the point as to why the footage should be released. The whole footage. 1. 2, you're right. Unless I was actually physically there and watched it play out, you're right. I don't know. But certain testimonies in court and outside of court have said otherwise. I don't know. Being in that moment, fight or flight, is something many haven't been in and can't understand. That's why I say it's best not to carry any weapon if you're not ready to go up that road. Miles, that's a fact. Because unfortunately, any of us in that position don't know what we would have done. Some would say, yeah, I would have walked away. Some would have said, yeah, I would have went and got help. Some say I would have stood my ground and I would have fought. Some would have said, some say a lot of things. But you don't know what you're going to actually do until you're in that moment, presented with that situation. No matter what your moral compass is, no matter what your makeup is, no matter how docile or aggressive of a person you are. I've seen people that are really aggressive people handle things so passively in certain circumstances. You looking at them like, what? You ain't turn up? But then I've also seen real timid individuals turn all the way up in certain situations, and you looking at them like, damn, where'd that come from? It happens. Trust me, it happens. Yeah, it's unfortunate for sure, but people. I thought about the case. It's sad, but he should have never had a weapon at the track B. But is that guilty of murder one, though, Peep Scheme, or is that just being guilty of something? Because then again, that takes murder one off the table. That's manslaughter or criminally negligent homicide. The scariest person, the most dangerous person, if you know, you know. That's a fact. This next individual, Bakari Sellers, from iHeartMedia, from his podcast that's on iHeartMedia. All credit goes to iHeartMedia and the podcast on it. Speaks on the sentencing the disparagement of the sentencing. How 35 years is really way too much for the circumstances and the situation, as we know it and or allegedly presented before court in regards to other situations, such situations who even had worse circumstances around it. Y'all pay attention to this. Thank you, Miles. I appreciate you, my brother. Allegedly, Charlie Hustle, allegedly. Y'all pay attention to Bakari Sellers. Let me know what you think on the back end.
Those names, and then you begin to deduce how the justice system worked when you look at them through that frame. And you say, Bakari, explain more. What do you mean? Carmelo Anthony has received more time, 35 years, than George Zimmerman, who got no time, Daniel Penny, who got no time, Derek Chauvin, who got 22 and a half years, Amber Geiger, who got 10 years, and Rick Chow, who got no time. Combined. He got more time than all of them combined. And I think when you look at it through that frame, I think that frame is a more accurate frame to see the injustice and the way that African Americans who were on that side.
Native Land Podcast. Shout out to Bakari Sellers.
Those names. And then you begin to deduce how the justice system worked when you look at.
For those just coming in, this is episode 316 of the Good Morning Gang Morning Show. A storm is coming. A storm is coming. And that's not no conspiracy theory bullshiggery. That it is what it is. Correct. And that's why I'm speaking on it. These are the conversations that need to be had amongst black men. Factamundo. Factamundo. Connie Batiste, that's where I'm at. Austin should have never messed with Carmelo, period. That's what I'm saying. Everybody keeps saying he shouldn't have had this weapon or he had that weapon. What would have happened if he didn't have that weapon? They might have stomped that young man out. They might have, he has epilepsy, he has a shoulder injury that he has surgery on. They might have did him real dirty. He might have been unalive or maimed or something. Because you hit somebody wrong, you could do them damage, unrepairable damage. Coach Mark Martin, what's goody like the mob? I see you. I'm over on the good YouTube. It could have went a whole nother way. If he didn't have that blade on him, he could have got punished. And I don't mean just fist put on him, he just got roughed up and that's it. Something just as egregious or something just as sad could have happened on the other side of it. And the question then would have been, would Austin been treated as such? Would he have been given 35 years in this situation? Of course he wouldn't. Guess what he would have got? Criminally negligent homicide at most. Intention is everything in a murder trial. He should not been guilty, period. Hopefully Me So Blessed is still in here. That's my thing, Me So Blessed. It's not so much of should he not been tried and charged with anything. Even though I feel like he should have been exonerated. However, when it comes to what caused the situation to happen, to the actual situation happening, there's culpability from both sides. The culpability from Austin should not be diminished just because he's no longer here or that he was on the shit end of the stick, proverbially, in reality. His actions and reactions helped define and cause the circumstances that led to his demise. Period. And I think that is the one thing that should not be lessened, swept under the rug, or turned a blind eye to. Hell no, his daddy would have gotten him off easily. Sadly, it may have been swept under the rug and we wouldn't have heard much about it. Facts. I want to speak about Charleston White. I'm not playing this video. Charleston White, sucker ass. On the one hand, he could be a good person. On the other hand, he be clout chasing so damn bad. Now, whatever reason for him to pull away allegedly, I believe he got one of them phone calls too. And he was trying to buddy up to the father after the fact. He talked about the parents of Carmelo so bad, but then talked about Jeff Metcalf so smoothly and just so passively, like a good old boy or whatever. And I could have this wrong, but I heard that Jeff Metcalf denied Charleston White's efforts or advances to work with him in some capacity or whatever the case may be. But it's the flip-flopping bullshit for me from any individual. Stay on one side of the fence or stay on the other. Unless at one point you totally decide, okay, the evidence, or I found out that it's totally this. He's all the way innocent, or that I found out this and he's totally guilty. But the back and forth, was you really gonna put up 75,000, or was that to look good or sound good? Because at the end of the day, even if you had an issue with the parents ain't the one locked up. The parents ain't the one found guilty. Yes, they are affected by their son, their baby boy, their son locked up, but they ain't the ones in prison. Carmelo Anthony is. So if you was gonna put up that damn money, you should have still put it up. 1. 2, the way in which you digressed, the way in which you did pull back was a bit much, a bit extra. There's other individuals that say they're putting up X amount of dollars. I seen the brother 50 Cent allegedly said that he'll fund or put up money towards the appeal and the defense of Carmelo Anthony. If that be true, shout out to you and salute 50 Cent. It was somebody else I saw, I can't think of who it is off the top of my head, that said they'll put up 500,000 towards his defense. Some people are saying, oh, the parents are on a money grab or whatever. It can be put together and allotted in such a way that the parents can't get their hands on none of it, that it solely gets dispersed for legal expenditures. So y'all can take the parents out of the equation. I found out the reason why the give send go, which is like a GoFundMe, why I was taken down, because they allowed it to go on up until he was found guilty. Once he was found guilty, they took it down or whatever the case may be, because of the terms of usage on their site or whatever the case may be. They say that there's a lot of allegations as to what monies they raised and received and have been able to benefit from, or whatever the case may be. There's people that say, oh, they got all this money and they living high off the horse, off of the situation of their son. There's others that are saying that no, quite the contrary, the monies haven't really gone to them in such a way. Yes, they did have to move. They say that this brother, the father, was a excellent salesman, car salesman, whose livelihood was greatly diminished and lessened because of the threats and people showing up at the job and all these things. And they, the lawyer that I was speaking with on Watching the World podcast last night said that he went from selling 20 cars a month to barely being able to sell 1, maybe 2. So he had to move from where they were living to somewhere else for the safety of his family. And not to mention, if I'm not mistaken, there was a bond that was put up, right? There was money that had to go to that bond, whether it was the full bond or 10%, whatever the case may be. Def got that boss call from the powers that be. He bragging himself about smoke. He's a joke. Everything is content to Charleston. And that's the thing, is a timeout for the bullshit. If you're going to be on it, be on it. Whether you're doing it out front or you a silent proverbial sniper in the situation. Be on it. If you're not going to be on it, get up off of it. I'm hearing that certain political activists have pulled back or whatever the case may be. There's a lot at bay here. There's a lot going on here. There's a lot going on here. Did you play the dad vid calling? I did on my last morning show Friday. On Friday, I played it, Rich Hart. I sure did. For that amount of money, you have to go get the best representation for the charge. That's a fact. His two attorneys, one named Shook, and I forget the other one. I don't know their background. I don't know their record. I'm not familiar with them or whatever. Again, I'm not from Texas. From the outside looking in, it does seem like there was inadequate representation in that court just by certain things that weren't done and certain things that were done. And as I said on Watching the Word podcast, there might have been certain things stipulated to kind of help the trial move along where both sides agree that this is factual or this did happen or whatever. So they're not fighting over it in court or going over too long, going back and forth about it. They kind of, compromise. Both sides compromise, say, okay, enter that in the evidence. We cool. Okay, you got that. And usually that works out a little bit in the favor of the prosecution, and usually it works out a little bit in the favor of the defense or whatever to a certain degree. And where they can't agree on certain issues, then that's when they have motions hearings either before or during the trial, out of the earshot of the jury. Also have to remember not everyone is illiterate. Yeah, Rich Hart. I don't necessarily think that he had to have somebody that was black representing him. I just think he should have had somebody that was good representing him. Somebody that might not have been from that local area or whatever the case may be, who's past the Texas bar, who's not afraid of the local power structure. See, those two individuals, if I'm not mistaken, they practice law in Collin County. So at some point they want to elevate. At some point they might want bigger contracts or bigger deals, or maybe to get into the political side of things, as well as the prosecutor, as well as the judge, as all these things. He should have gotten a team of people that weren't directly from the area. Or some people would say, well, if you're from the area, you know the area, or whatever the case may be. So there's a catch-22 there. But sometimes, especially since they say that Collin County has a notoriety for certain things when it comes to prosecutions and police activities and certain ways of thinking towards a lot of people, they should have stepped outside the known or unknown lawyers of that area and garnered or gathered somebody else or whatever. But who knows? They had somebody that was representing the family who was pushing them or putting them or giving them counsel as to which direction they should go with certain things. Some people say that press conference that they had after it happened, that the family had, Carmelo's family happened, should have never happened. Should have never happened. That it pissed a lot of individuals off from the Attorney General's office, allegedly, on down to the father of the decedent, allegedly. I personally believe that there's been favors called in. I personally believe that some things have been moved around, maybe not even ethically, morally, or legally right. I believe, but who am I? I'm just Big Phil Speaks, right? I'm just here to give my media take on these things, my journalistic take on these things, and stand up for what's right and get on the heels of what's wrong in this situation and in other situations. I was going to play the video by Stephen A. Smith, but I'm not going to do that neither because he another one. He another one that sensationalizes shit and says outlandish shits at times because they know it's going to make viral moments and bring more light to what they got going on. And I don't like that. I don't like that at all. especially when you're doing it on the back of a young man whose life is in the balance, figuratively and possibly literally. And y'all might be tired of me talking about it. Y'all might be tired of other individuals talking about it. But again, as I kind of started into this, I think it's paramount that it's continued to be discussed, to be talked about, because of the attention that it's gotten and where it could lead to other legislation for other areas and how cases are handled one way or the other. But also because of the way things have been moving, and I said this earlier, the sneaky way and things, which way things have been moved and how rushed and hurried up and let's close this up and all the things, let's get him out to prison ASAP like Rocky, that man's life might be in danger. Again, the lawyer tried to say that Talon Metcalf ain't related to Jeff Metcalf. There's evidence to the contrary to that, but I don't know personally because I don't know neither one of them Bammers. I don't know Jeff Metcalf or Talon, right? But he's a warden. They were going to send him there. I don't know if he got all the way in there or was on his way and somebody said, but he was diverted to the PAC unit or the PAC facility, which is 45 minutes away from the other one. So if people think just because he's not at that direct facility, he's at the other one, that he's cool or safe, I would beg to differ because wardens put in calls and ask for favors and need favors all the time. Think about it. Just like law enforcement, police officers ask for favors all the time from other jurisdictions, from fellow officers, etc. I think the more that this situation is talked about and discussed, the more certain people gonna get pissed off, but the more that it's in the light, the more his life is kind of preserved, if that makes sense. Even if he by chance does not, and I rebuke that, does not get off on appeal or get out on appeal or any of the things, even if, hopefully, the constant dialogue, the constant speaking of it, people not forgetting about it, especially down there, helps keep that man alive because there's more eyes on the situation. When there's more eyes on it, people can't just have their way with you like they want to. Like they want to. No way it's nobody outside causing hell down there that speaks volume to the area they're in. Got them people in line. There's some people cutting up. There's some people cutting up and speaking out. Again, shout out to those that have spoke on it. Ratchet TV, Queen 88, Just Say No to Sco, Rainwater, Sin. I can't think of her podcast name or name to save my life. Various other podcasts. Watching the world, who's not from down there, who's been covering it heavy, and various other bloggers, media, Nick at Night, and various other bloggers, journalists, meteorologists, etc., personalities, celebrities, etc., activists. Some have drawn back. Some are afraid to go forward with it under those categories because they receive phone calls warning them of things behind the scenes. Allegedly. Now, personally, I haven't heard these phone calls, so I can't tell you what was said or what wasn't said. But some people have said they're not touching this no more, that they're leaving it alone, and they're advising other people to leave it alone. And I think that's not the best thing to do in this situation. I get it. Some people are worried about their businesses, their money, their bag, the ability to put on shows and events and get certain permits for things might be questioned or held against them. But I think that sometimes you got to stand for what's right. You got to stand for what's right, no matter what the outcome of the circumstances of the situation. You got to stand for what's right. Even if it's an unpopular thing. even if it's an unpopular thing. Just talking about it ain't doing nothing. The only reason they saying something is for profit, really. Some people are. I'll give you that, Rich Hart. Some people are, and then some people really, really feeling a way about it. Are really feeling a way about it. For those that are here that want to support the movement, I got GMGTs available. The price goes up once it hits the website. This will probably be the last time that I put it up there and put it out there for y'all or whatever. If you want to get it in the future, it'll be on the website. I got it from small to 5XL for the big fellas. I got it in black, red, royal blue, hot pink, teal, maroon, and navy blue. Have at it. GMG, the Good Money Gang. Or you could feel like it represents the Good Morning Gang morning show. Either way you look at it, support the cause, support the movement, huh? Why don't you? I feel as though, in closing though, a storm is brewing. A storm is coming. And it's deeper than just that situation down in Texas. It's deeper than UFC events on White House grounds. It's deeper than that war overseas with Iran. It's deeper than the food they're trying to push off to us, the lab created food. It's deeper than all of the things, your children not being taught properly. And I just think that we need to wake up, pay attention, teach our youth, stand in the gap for our youth, stand in the gap for each other, re-solidify, rebuild the foundation of our communities to where we were a village, to where we looked after each other and all the things. I think that we need to self-assess personally ourselves, personally within our households as family structures, in a broader base, our communities. There's strength in numbers. There's strength in numbers. No matter what it is, there's strength in numbers. Division is the best way to keep people trapped, keep people contained, keep people under the thumb, do what you will with them, not allow them to get certain benefits, not allow them to fully exercise their rights. I can go on and on and on. Miles, we got to do better. We can say all we want about this person's a racist, that person's a bigot, this person don't like us, this person ain't doing nothing for us, this race ain't doing this race is treating us this way. What are we doing for self? How are we treating each other? How are we getting along? How cohesive are we, even though there might be difference in religious, spiritual, economic, you name it, sexual orientation? How are we treating each other? How are we getting along? Can we get on the same page for a common goal and common cause? Can we? There's certain protests I hear that are going on that are deeming effective in certain areas, but I don't think everybody's doing it when it comes to the beauty salons and beauty supply shops, et cetera, et cetera. That's it right there. Be the change you want to see in the world, that part. And it don't start outside the scope. It don't start from the scope of your eyes or what you see. It starts from within your mind. What you breathe in, what you take in, what you absorb, what you listen to, what you speak, what you do. I know y'all be like, I feel I'm tired. Well, be tired. I'm tired. I'm tired of how things are happening. I'm tired of how we're being treated. I'm tired of inequality in certain areas and things. I'm tired of us going along to get along, but we not getting along to go along, if that makes sense, huh? And no, this won't be the only case that I'm gonna cover. Be covering more cases and situations. Shout out to everybody that's tapped in and tuned in, both old and new. Do your boy a favor. Tell a friend to tell a friend. The Good Morning Gang Morning Show always got something for you, something different. You either going to laugh, you're going to cry, you're going to get angered / triggered, you're going to get empowered, you're going to get inspired, you're going to get educated, but most importantly, you're going to get entertained, baby. You're going to get entertained. You're going to get entertained. How can we get along when it's designed for us to fail? It's designed for us to fail because we go along with what's failing us. We go along with the traps set and the snares set for us to fail. That's why. We got to stop looking outward and look inward. It's just like something in your personal life. If you don't know how to do something, you either you learn it on your own or you're taught by somebody else and you still learn it. The choice of how you live your life and disseminate information, taking information, process information, and put work to faith. That's on you. That's not on or in the hands of somebody else, no matter what race they are, or even if they are the same race. Just the same way you do what you do in your household and you don't do certain things in your household, that's on you. That's not on your neighbors. That's not on people around the corner in your block. You do what it is you do in your house because that's what you do. Same as here. Pay attention. Pay attention. Self-survival people are for self, no sense of community. And that's a problem, Richard. That's what we need to correct. That's what we need to correct. Now, everybody's not going to get on board with it. But for those that would and will, there's strength in numbers. We need to be educated, re-educated, reacclimated, because some of y'all don't know what community really look like. I don't care what apartment building complex, tenement project you live in. Some people aren't familiar of what community really looks like. The extended family outside of your own family. And some of us do. Some of us do remember. Some of us do recall. You are just a reaction of your circumstances. True. But by your circumstances, are you not bound? You're not bound by the circumstances in which you come up unless you allow yourself to stay stuck, unless you allow yourself to stay there. I'm going to get up out of here, ladies and gentlemen. It's about to be 10:30. It's about to be 10:30. This has been another one. Yes, another one. Episode 316 of them things. Make sure you come back on Wednesday. Come holler at your boy. Shout out to those that started to follow me from Queen 88's platform, from Ratchet TV's platform, from Watching the World platform. I appreciate y'all for coming in the door. Hopefully, you know your family here now. Hopefully, you won't stay out the way and out the picture. Got a lot of things in store. Oh, by the way, the city to pull up is coming. The city to city pull up is coming. Y'all pay attention. Also, I'm lining up interviews for the Tap In with Big Phil Speaks, both in music and entertainment and political, in the average Joe or average Joanne who has a story to tell, who's been through something that you could glean something from. You've been waiting on the outro song. I'm about to get to it now, Miles. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all know what I like to say. Smile, because you never know what it might do for somebody, including yourself. More importantly, love on somebody on purpose, with purpose. And last but not least, I'm not anti-you, but I'm pro-me with an emphasis on building we. Let that marinate your melon to the next time we could chop it up and have a tay-to-tay. Until that day, baby, I will holler. You feel me? Hey.
We're one big happy family. We're G-O-G. One big happy family. family. Hey, hey, thank you for tuning in. Make sure you come back again. Tell a friend to tell a friend. It's GMG and Big Phil speech.
Y'all get out of here. Y'all be great. Have a good week, ladies and gentlemen. Be blessed. Remember that you're blessed in spite of. You woke up today, so make it the best day ever. While you at it, though, plan, plot, and strategize so that if you're so blessed to see tomorrow, you make it an even better day than the day. That part. I'm out here. Yeah, yeah.